Scream 3, for a lot of fans, is one of the weaker films in the franchise. But there's an assembly cut, 26 minutes longer than the theatrical cut, that some might argue could make it a better film, as well as deleted scenes not in either version. I got my hands on a copy of this assembly cut, so I figured we'd take a look at it together. I want to find out what's different and if it's actually a better version of the film. Let's get into this thing. So before we start, I want to say that personally I love Scream 3. It was the first film in the franchise I saw all the way through. Now I still love this movie, but surely some of that is nostalgia, right? And I've talked about it before, so we won't get into all that, but let's find out what's different between the theatrical cut and this assembly cut that's 26 minutes longer. This thing surfaced on the internet in 2023 on Twitter from a user who had an assembly cut from October of 1999. The assembly cut is about 142 minutes, the theatrical is about 116. The assembly cut is in black and white, and a fair amount of the deleted scenes that were on the Blu-ray are actually in this movie. And as usual during these, this is kind of a disclaimer, I'm not going to go through every little change in this thing. I'm really going to try to go over everything I think is interesting. Stuff that might affect the story or that's just cool. The first changes come immediately when the film opens, with about 30 seconds extra establishing LA City shots at night. The scene also has Red Right Hand, the infamous Nick Cave song, instead of the Beltrami score here. The entire sequence with Cotton and his girlfriend is changed drastically. In the assembly cut, his conversation on the phone with his agent is longer.
And that's the other thing too, if they're gonna make a movie about your life, the least they could do is write you a fucking part.
And alternate takes are used. But in this version, he actually gets an answer as to why he's not given the role in the Navy SEALs movie.
What? Too Jewish? I'm not...
Then the conversation he has with Ghostface here is actually pretty crazy. It reminds me of that episode of How I Met Your Mother where Marshall and Barney are pretending to be a girl, but at some point realize they're just sexting Ted. Cotton is like fully bricked up and prepared to goon in traffic.
We're gonna have phone sex, yeah. At least I should know your name.
But then Ghostface reveals he knows he's in traffic.
I gotta go.
Oh, that's too bad. You drive safe, okay?
I do like this scene, this alternate version, because there's some callbacks to the original film here.
Do you like movies, Cotton? Scary movies.
Including the questionnaire bit being brought back. Ghostface asks,
You name the movie about the killer car. You know? The car
Right,
that's got a
no,
mind
I
of
know
its
that.
own?
I got that. It's one word.
and Cotton can't quite remember this, even though his girlfriend is named Christine.
Carrie! No, that's the high school prom. Cujo was the dog.
Guess he's not a big movie guy, or at least horror movie guy. This leads me to another point, that when Cotton then heads home, the scene is completely different. Ghostface calls Cotton uses Christine's voice.
Alright, stop fucking around. Where are you?
Where am I? Where are you?
And claims not to be home, and we never see Christine alive in this version. And only once they reveal her corpse does Ghostface finally show up. This sequence is much quicker, and Ghostface has a different line as he's about to kill Cotton.
You've been cancelled.
Now sure, that line is entertaining, and I find it personally amusing that he was about to just sit there and goon in traffic, with a total stranger, while on the way home to see his girlfriend. But this opening overall doesn't do it for me. It does show more of Cotton being an asshole, so I guess we're less sad that he dies, but the theatrical version builds more tension at home with Christine in the shower, and just hanging around while Ghostface talks to Cotton stuck in traffic. I do also like the idea of bringing back the questionnaire bit. I liked seeing that. If you consider Roman and his ties to the events in the first film, this makes total sense to include here, but maybe it slowed things down. After this scene, instead of going right to Sydney, the assembly cut goes to Gail, giving her lecture. There are alternate takes here and a few extra lines, but nothing too crazy. Then there's a moment where Gail thinks maybe she sees Dewey. Then we get around to Sydney, and thank God they cut some of this stuff out because I don't like seeing Sydney yell at her dog.
Cherokee, wait!
This poor dog. I mean, Sydney, you're the one that spilled the dog food. There's a bit of an extended shot here when you get to see a Stab 3 advertisement up close. I thought that was kind of cool. There's also an extra bit of dialogue after one of my personal favorite lines in the movie.
He was making a movie called Stab. He was stabbed.
But there's no definite connection. There's no proof.
You're gonna hire more security for the studio?
We are.
Then the scene where Sydney has a nightmare about her mother has more after she wakes up. She thinks she hears someone in her house. She ends up getting her gun, pointing it at her dad's face, who, surprise, has arrived. Then it goes to the scene that's in the theatrical version. It's sort of an extended opening to that scene, I guess. A lot of this stuff is sometimes just changed around, some things happen earlier, some later, but for the most part, the same points are made, so whatever. There's another scene where the actors are on set discussing what's going on.
What I want to know is who did it.
Whoever it is, it's somebody who knows his or her way around the lot.
Well, then it could be you. Or you.
Or you.
Oh, please.
Stone's death sequence is longer, and I love extended death scenes. Ghostface uses Dewey's voice to speak to him before leaving the trailer.
Say hi to sis.
The scene with Sidney talking to Ghostface on her phone occurs a lot later in this version. It also has more dialogue and different dialogue.
I'm calling the police right now.
Look, Laura, we both know the cops can't do anything.
Ghostface also name drops Terminator here, which is pretty cool.
The Terminator mows down an entire precinct to get to Sarah Connor.
Terminator's basically a slasher film, so yes, please include it in the Scream films. He mentions that he's a dark reflection of Sidney, and this really doesn't add or take away anything from this point of the film, if you haven't seen it before. Then we see Tyson being dragged through a police station in another scene.
I was going to the party, damn it. I get there and it's a goddamn bonfire of vanities.
Right this way, Mr. Fox.
Say, why don't you question me about the OJ murders? I'm sure you guys haven't figured that one out yet.
The scene with Randy's sister has a little bit of extra exposition.
How'd you get on the lot?
I snuck on with the game show group. I heard about Cotton Weary and the rest. We all have.
And then Randy's tape has a bunch of extra lines of dialogue, and they're hilarious.
Am I really dead? I can't believe that is the stupidest thing in the world. You're gonna kill me? Are you alone? Well, don't be. Name me one scary movie where two people got killed at once.
Alien, The Thing.
Those are monster movies, separate tape. Shit, I can't believe I got killed before episode 1. Hope it sucked.
The voice changer is finally explained in the assembly cut as well. Ghostface is cooking up sick beats in the lab here. Just kidding, he's using voice software to analyze recordings of voices, obviously, to let some sort of software then emulate the voice. I think we all just kind of think it's a schlocky bit for a movie from the year 2000. It's like seeing Batman in his chair, on his computer, just like with his cowl on. They could have just used like a shadowy figure, but no, mask, gloves, cloak. That's no way to do a job like this and get it done efficiently. I think they must have realized it was goofy. Then when Sidney is finally being confronted by Ghostface, he doesn't use the little bloody sheet to cover himself up. He's just hanging out, using his regular voice. But I think a lot of that is just because they haven't done the ADR stuff yet. And there's a lot of small changes and cuts here. Roman's line after taking off his mask is slightly different.
Roman Bridger, director. Stab 3.
There's also more dialogue with him talking about how he's going to get away with his crimes.
No, the police will figure it out. They'll know it was you. They don't even know Rena's son exists, and if he did, he'd be 27. Roman Bridger has made sure that the world, come on, the world knows he's 30, Sid!
And they reshot a lot of this ending, you know. Sidney's not shot in this assembly cut. The work print also has a slightly different ending, although some might think it's negligible. But really, I think it's a big change of tone for the end. In the theatrical cut, Sidney sees her door blown open a bit, looks at it, and turns away unbothered. In the assembly cut, she stares longer before the film cuts to black, which is definitely more of a creepy ending. Again, it's a very subtle difference. It's all in the character's perception and what we find creepy or not. Then we've got a couple more deleted scenes. The beginning of Scream 3, for example, has a third opening. We talked about the theatrical and assembly cut, but among the Blu-ray's deleted scenes is a third death sequence for Cotton. It's very similar to the theatrical cut, but ultimately different. This leads Cotton to attempting to escape from the skylight in the entryway, but getting stabbed in the leg and pulled down to the ground. So I think this was the reshot ending, but ultimately they kind of combined what they did with this and the first one, I think, to come up with the ending that they used in the theatrical version. Then there's a scene with Sarah Darling arriving to set. The scene she's ultimately killed in. She argues with the guard about getting in without an ID. And really, that's it when it comes to deleted scenes from Scream 3. If you know of any lost deleted scenes that I'm unaware of, drop them in the comments down below. I would love to hear about it. Ultimately, I think the theatrical cut is better than this assembly cut. I do like seeing the extra footage, it's fascinating. And there is a few lines here and there that I really enjoyed in this version. But overall, the theatrical cut is the theatrical cut for a reason. And I don't think adding this stuff in would make the film perfect by any means. Let me know what you guys think. Quick thank you to my channel members and Patreon subscribers. If you want more ectoviolence, including exclusive videos and behind-the-scenes content, become a member by clicking the links in the description below.